If you've had the issue of taking a portrait in the midday sun and you're left with harsh, deep shadows across the face, this video should help you. The first thing most photographers do is reach for the shadow correction slider and just crank that to the max, hoping to solve the problem that way. However, that's one of the worst things you can do because you're going to introduce a lot of digital noise and also just flatten out your photo, giving it that nasty kind of HDR look. So let me show you a much cleaner way to solve this problem. I'm going to be using Luminar Neo, but you're welcome to use any photo editor that supports layers. Right, let's get into it. So I'm recently back from an overseas trip from New Zealand all the way back to England where I visited my mum and dad. And on a morning out, we grabbed some very quick photos. Super important to me to get a shot of me with my mum, but unfortunately we weren't angled very favourably. It was just a quick snapshot, but because it is so important to me, I want to make sure this looks good. So let's see what the issues are here. I mean, first of all, it is slightly underexposed. So if we were to set the exposure correctly, the next thing we might want to do to recover all of that deep dark shadow is to grab the shadow slider and crank that up. But as soon as you do that, to actually introduce a level of brightness that we're happy with in the face, you can see that just over my shoulder here, this dark section here, look how much digital noise gets revealed. And that's going on in our skin as well, although it is less visible. And of course, the background of the photo, if I toggle before and after, you can see that just the whole shot just looks very HDR. It's lost a lot of that contrast and three-dimensionality. It just looks flat and horrible. We could try and sort of split the difference and not boost the exposure as much, bring the shadows down, control the highlights, maybe work with a curve to just bring up the brightness there. But of course, we want to keep a bit of contrast. We're not really recovering enough detail in the skin and in the face. What I'm hoping to do is kind of emulate having a reflector bouncing light back into our faces. So let me show you how we would do that. I have a virtual copy of the photo here, and this is what I'm going to work on so that we can do a comparison between the two. So of course, yes, we need to set the exposure to a much more appropriate level. Something around there is quite good. We can look at controlling the highlights slightly, and maybe we want to tickle a little brightness in the shadow, but not too much, because this is where our shadow recovery method is going to come in. So what we're going to do is duplicate the layer. And now we're going to adjust this layer purely for the shadows. I'm not worried about what the rest of the photo looks like. So rather than boosting up the shadows this time, what I'm going to do is just grab the exposure and start bringing that up to a point where I feel like the shadows have the correct amount of light bounced into them. I'm going to grab the highlight slider and just bring that down because I don't want to overexpose the highlights because I've brought the exposure up. And this is where this technique really comes in for us, because you can see that, yes, we're starting to introduce a little bit more digital noise. If I jump to the data about this photo, you can see that I shot this at ISO 400. So it should really be a pretty clean file. You know, this is off the Nikon Z8, very good sensor, but even so, we're still getting that digital noise. But this is where we have the opportunity to fix that. So I'm going to come down to the noise reduction, grab the Luminosity noise reduction slider and just start bringing that up until we soften that area out. Man, I'd love to just soften all those wrinkles away, but you know, anyone for Botox? Jeez. But now we've got that fixed, there's one other thing that this method allows us to do. I'll just bring that luminosity slider back down because we don't want it looking plasticky, just a little bit of a fix. Now, usually in the shadows, when you shoot on a sunny day, the sun is highlighting certain areas of your photo, and that is with a certain white balance. The color temperature is set for the sun. Usually, the shadows are a lot cooler because they are lit by the flat non-directional sky above. So usually you see a lot more blue in the shadows compared to a more orangey warm tone where the sun is hitting. This photo is not actually too bad for that. However, what I'm going to do is just push that temperature up further than what the baseline was. So if I go back to as shot, you can see the temperature was at 5,107. And now I'm just going to grab that temperature slider and elevate that ever so slightly. So we'll go to 6,200, and that's giving those shadows a nice, lovely bit of warmth. Now, don't worry about the rest of the photo. Like I say, all I care about at this point is the shadow itself. That's what we're going to recover here. So how do we do that? How do we blend this layer, and if I hide it, with the layer underneath? Well, we're going to use a clever bit of masking called luminosity masking. Now, some of you will be familiar with luminosity masking. It basically describes making a selection or a mask through the brightness values, the luminosity values. That's just another word, fancy word for brightness. So all we need to do is select the shadows. So we have this little crosshair here that allows us to come in and just click on one of the areas that we want to select. Now you can see over on the right hand side in this little panel here, we now have a little selection box, and over here on the photo we see in the red pixels, those are the areas which are selected. What I want to do is actually expand this box, so whatever is in this box is fully selected. And on the left hand side of this line here, this is all the shadows. So the wider I make this, the more shadows I'm going to select. And the further I push it, it starts to include midtones and eventually highlights as well. So we just want to have the shadows. And if I left it like this, everywhere that is red, we are going to see that layer that we just corrected for the shadows. Let me show you what that looks like right now. Ooh, pretty nasty. This is not the look we want. So let me show you how we actually get a much nicer, cleaner result from that. I'm just going to come to my mask actions and I'm going to clear that mask and we'll go again. So luminosity masking. We can either click like we did before and that makes a selection for us, or we can actually just control it straight out of the gate by bringing these handles up. And what you saw last time was I just had this little square box here, and that just gives us a binary selection, i.e. everything that's in this box is selected and everything that is outside of this box is not selected. And so on the right hand side here, these are all the midtones and highlights. On the left within the box, those are the shadows. But what we want to do is create a nice soft transition between the two. And we do that by grabbing this little triangle down here and we start to bring that out. Now the further we take that, the smoother the transition is going to be. But we don't want our layer to blend all the way to the very brightest highlights. We want it to just sort of taper out around those midtones. And now we should see a much softer transition with this layer. So I'm going to jump out of the luminosity mask, and now you can see that we have indeed filled in those shadows. It still doesn't look great at the moment, but we're making progress. Let's have a little toggle of the before and after. Okay. The problem is we are too heavy-handed with those shadows. We've pushed in too much light and we've lost all contrast again and we've flattened everything out. So what we can do is grab the opacity slider, and you can see that as we toggle this up and down, basically this is creating a really nice little fill for us. So we don't want to go all the way to 100%. What we want to do is just ease that in so it's just lifting those shadows. And I'm focusing just on our faces because what I'm going to do is actually remove this effect from the background, because by introducing this layer, we're starting to flatten out the whole photo. You know, it's removing contrast because it's removing those shadows. So we just want to apply the effect over the faces. So to make that adjustment, I'm going to come back into the masking section. And if I show the mask, we can see what we created with that luminosity masking. But we can combine this luminosity mask with another effect. And I'm going to use the erase mode of the brush to just chisel away the mask from where I don't want it. So I'm going to quickly whip around the edge of the frame because I don't want to apply any of it at the very edges. I'm then going to bring my strength down slightly and also bring the size down slightly just so that I can start to remove it with not full intensity, but something like that. We could even take just a little bit from under my chin there just so we try to create a nice chiseled jawline. All right. Okay, so let's have a look. So we can hide the layer and you can see we have those deep dark shadows back again. And now if we show the layer, we've injected a little bit of light as if we've had a fill card just off to the side of the camera, just pushing a little bit of light back in. So before and after. And the great thing with this technique is if you want to make some adjustments, now this is all set up, you can come back into the develop raw mode and you can play with these sliders and just get it dialed in exactly how you want it. Now this is really important. Once you've got the blend between the two layers set to where you want it, If you want to continue editing your photo, there's something really important you need to do, and that is merge your two layers together into a single entity. And the way we do that in Luminar Neo is come over to the layers section. You've already got one selected, denoted by the orange outline here. Hold Shift, click on the other layer, so they're both selected. And now when we right click, we have the option to merge layers. And now any tool that we apply to the photo will act on the entire photo rather than talking to just the layer that is selected. So if we want to add a little vignette, whatever, we're good to go. So let's have a quick comparison between this version that we created and this is the version that you get if you just try and lift up the shadows. Yes, we've recovered detail in those shadow areas. However, this is a much more natural way to do it. It gives us a much more pleasing result. Whereas if we go to this version, you may be able to see, but there's all of that digital noise. It's a slightly discolored shadow. So this technique really gives you a lot of control over those shadows. And it's not just useful for portraits like this. I also use it in my architectural photography, this same methodology to bring back shadow details when I'm doing interior photography. So this has a lot of use cases. Once you get your head around it, you'll be surprised just how useful and versatile this technique is for many genres of photo editing. Oh, and if you love photo editing and you think Luminar Neo would be a good fit, good companion for your photo editing journey, now would be a great time to check it out because Skylum have just launched their summer sale. I'll put a link to that in the description below, along with a discount code as well. So if you want to check it out, now is a very good time to do so. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's the first one I've made for about 2 months. As I said, I've been away traveling and I pre-recorded some videos before I left, so I actually haven't hit record for about 2 months. And I'll be completely honest, the reason that there have been a few weeks without any content from me has been because I've just really struggled to get the motivation, to get my mindset right. Yeah, it's been tough to get my head right and get sat here again. So do me a favor, if you've enjoyed this video, help me out with a little thumbs up, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. It mean the world to me. Honestly, it really would. So thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, whatever that might be. Hopefully you're not waiting quite as long before my next one. Cheers a lot, guys. Bye-bye for now.